Hi, everybody. Welcome to Untapped. My name is Maureen, the even the queen, the even the princess, whichever one you prefer. Welcome to another episode. And of course, I do not chill alone. I chill with the one and only.
Mash.They.
How you doing, Meshdi? How you feeling? What's the temperature?
I'm fresh and my fresh just get fresher.
What's the mood like? What are you feeling?
It's hard, but
It's beginning
it's
to feel
hard,
a lot
it's hard,
like
it's hard, but
Christmas.
diamonds glow greater than the pressure all the time.
Hey, let them know. Let
All the
them
time.
know. Welcome to another episode. If you're new here, please do us the kind favor of hitting that subscribe button. Let us know what you've been tapped into so we can tap into what you've been tapped into and talk about that as well. But let's get on to it, man. What have you been tapped into, my dog?
Luigi, bro. Like, I'm not even a cap. I've just been so invested in that case.
Right.
But given that it's a Christmas episode, I don't want to be so conspiratorial. I love a good conspiracy, and I'll go into my rabbit holes. But I just feel like it's such an interesting case,
Yeah.
and we're still going to talk about it quite a lot. I think
Yes.
there's a lot of talking points. I think it's going to be an amazing trial. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
that Anthony's giving me. He gave me that we're about to go to theater.
yeah.
We're about to see theater.
Yeah, did he do it? Did he not? There's just so many questions.
No.
Was he framed?
Is it more than one people involved in the thing?
Yeah.
Is it different
Yeah.
people?
Morally, does it make sense?
What was his motive behind it as well?
Yeah.
That's been a big talking point. But you know what? When I saw that thing, I was like, Americans were like, yeah, actually, not even Americans, just people were like,
Yeah.
We saw like a person die live on camera. We could see it. I mean, not live, but we could see it on camera. And people were just like, who's this guy? It was more, people were more interested on the guy that did it than on the guy that actually passed away. Like what was his motive? Like, why did he do something like that? It felt like people were praising him.
Yeah, and
as
I think they also wanted him to look a certain way. They wanted him to have certain views. They wanted him to fit a certain mold, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's such a different figure in terms of who you'd expect to commit that kind of crime, right? So yeah, that's also a very interesting perspective.
Also, you could tell, people were expecting this guy to have this motive of something happened, like a claim, and it wasn't approved and things like that. And it turns out this guy is just he's well off, he's well read, he's just
Yeah, he is well off, but I mean, there is that. I mean, he hasn't been able to have a good sexual life because of an operation he wasn't able to get. And probably universal healthcare was part of the reason why he couldn't get the operation. So I think that's what I'm saying. He doesn't fit the mold because he shouldn't be the guy that is unable to get the kind of healthcare that he wants, right? So it's so interesting. Even the kind of people he follows, right? Why does someone with those kinds of views also like guys like Peter Thiel, right? You'd expect him to be a Marxist. But yeah, he's affluent. Also, what was also interesting for me is just the racial aspect of it.
Yeah.
Where it's are Italian people white? And those conversations are are interesting because they always come up in all contexts of just different variations of white people. Even Jewish people use the white card when it works for them, but sometimes they're not white. Sometimes Yeah, they're not white. So yeah, that also, but I don't want us to delve too deep into that. So yeah.
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 I don't. This is a Christmas episode. This is like a reflection episode. We're about to go into like, wholesome chats, please. Not death, not assassinations, not race, not Marxism, and let's calm down a little bit. I have a couple of questions just to reflect on the year, reflect on the pod that we started this year, and having this being like the first kind of Christmas that we celebrate with the pod, like what you have been thinking about certain things. So just a few questions. They're very wholesome, I think. So first question is, what has been your favorite episode so far?
I don't know, man. I think the one I sort of enjoyed recording the most was the Deferred Life Plan episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I
that
could
one.
see that.
Yeah, I think that one was enjoyable. There's an episode that felt like work. And I'm glad that it was just that one episode and nothing else. But there's an episode that felt like a lot of weight. I can't remember which episode it was, but somewhere in the beginning.
I think I remember when we finished shooting and you were just like,
yeah. Yeah.
This was
but yeah, I think I'll go with fave. I'll go with Deferred Life Plan.
Okay. And wait, I need to also answer that question, I guess.
I didn't ask you.
Oh my word! But Zimu, like, when people are like, when we wear shades, we go on some weird mode. This is it. Yeah. It's giving that. Yeah. I'll answer it anyway.
Yeah, I want you to answer it.
I'll ask myself that question. Favorite episode this year for me is the episode we were wearing shades. I don't know what we call that episode.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
I love that episode. It was just full of like, I enjoyed recording that episode. I don't know if it was because like we were wearing shades, so there's somehow like you don't feel like people can see you or you're just chilling. I really enjoyed that one. It felt good. But also, to be fair, I enjoyed recording every episode that we've ever recorded. I'm not even kidding. Because for me, we had spoken about starting the pod for a while, for a bit. And we tried to figure things out and pull things together. At some point, it just went quiet. But to finally have it and for us to be so consistent with like every second week we have an episode, that for me was like, the big
Survivor's Guilt.
Survivor's Guilt. That was a good episode.
Okay.
Also, another thing with that episode is because even just what we were talking about in that episode, how we spoke about like me going to an art fair and me saying things and me just thinking like, damn, like there's people that can't access this. Like, I love that episode. But yeah, generally all of the episodes I think were good.
Survivor's Guilt. Deferred Life Plan. Interesting. The fan favorite, according to the stats, is Tinyiko's Conundrum.
To be honest,
yeah.
I have like a low-key beef with Tinyiko's Conundrum.
High key on my end. Yeah, but I understand why. I think because it's the first episode, when people get to the channel, it's the episode they watch. I think also because just recency bias. So because the podcast was new when it launched, the people that perhaps the podcast wasn't for also watched it, and then they're like, okay, nah, not for me. So there's a lot of people that like were gauging the Untapped sentiment, and they used Tinyiko's Conundrum to do that. And I think Tinyiko's Conundrum was very political and not a good reflection of like the kinds of things that we talk about.
I actually recently rewatched that episode specifically because I actually wanted to see if like I'm just biased because I've recorded so many other episodes now, and maybe if I rewatch that episode, I'll feel like
it is the best.
It is the best. Nah. I think we've grown so much even just from that episode until now. I think it like
even the second episode, right? A lot of people didn't watch that, and I think it's a great
episode.
Zone of competence.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think also for me, it's just whoever resonates with whatever they resonate with is, you know,
it's still fun. That's why I kind of feel like just having had episodes.
Because growth. Not growth catalyst. Zone of competence is like top 3 for me, and I'm just like, but it's also not like top 3 in terms of just even listenership, even the audio stats.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, I had a conversation with somebody from work, right? Like they watch and listen to the pod, so they like part of the community, and they were like to me, like, you guys, like, we should stop focusing on like getting people to comment or getting people to engage. Like,
do you think we do?
They were like, they watched an episode where we were talking about people not commenting on this section, commenting on the comment section.
I think the comment thing, for me, is more like the people that are already engaging. Yeah. I would rather prefer that you comment, because there's so much people that talk to me personally about things, and I'm like, I would have loved for you to just say this in the comment section. Perhaps other people were going to engage with you. I'm more concerned with that. I'm not concerned with people that aren't engaging with the content, engaging with it. But I get it. We shouldn't be concerned about it.
I guess that's me as well, because like I will be I'll be at church, I'll be somewhere at a social gathering with friends or whatever, and somebody will bring up something I said on the pod, and we'll have like a great conversation around that thing. But I'm like, damn, like if you just said this thing on the comment section, it would maybe spark somebody's like mind and they would want to engage with it. But having said that, I also think that, like what you said, like engage when you want, like if you want to engage. But it's not a matter of like engage now, say hi now, give us feedback now. It's just like, if you have a thought, don't be afraid to just share it, because there could be so much benefit in you sharing your thoughts. Unless if you want to be that person that doesn't watch the episode and then you already have an idea of what it is and then you say something off.
Yeah, we had one of those.
We had one of those as well.
Kendrick is our savior episode. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I'm so proud. I'm so proud of our episodes. I'm so proud that we were consistent. I think that was like my biggest fear, to start something and not actually follow through with it. And we were quite fluid with it, because we're like whenever we feel like recording, we'll just record. Whenever we have like something to talk about, we'll do it. It's not that set. But we've been consistent, fam.
Yeah, we created some sense of structure.
Exactly.
And we conformed to it.
Exactly. So, love that for us. Okay. Second question is, what was your least favorite episode, if you have one?
Least favorite... Nico's conundrum, probably.
Why?
Because I think it's a conversation that was supposed to be had, but the fact that it was our first conversation, I don't like that about that.
You know, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I felt like that when it dropped. I was like, this is our first episode.
Even if Growth Catalyst was our first sort of chat.
Yeah. There's so many episodes that could have been our first episodes, I feel. Outside of
the Nico's conundrum as the genesis is just wild.
But at the same time, I'm just like, somebody watches the Nico's conundrum
I think it's a great episode. It's just my least favorite.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm saying, if you remove the fact that it's your first episode, right? It's the first episode we had, and you just watch it outside of that, you could like it. Yeah. It could be like a great episode to you. Does it
have great replay value, given that it was political? Like, I haven't rewatched it.
I think so. Yeah. I think so, because especially
think about the Nika's conundrum like 5 years from now. Like watching that conversation.
Yeah. Because I think it captures a moment in time, right? When this shift was happening, right? And it is sort of a documentation of what the sentiments were.
It's like 1984.
Yes. 1994. Like when people were voting for the first time. It's like, it's one of those that, like on Freedom Day, like people would replay because this is what to remind themselves of.
Yeah, I was saying 1984, the book, Orwell.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, because he wrote, but like he didn't write it in 19. It was like a prediction, a prediction of what would happen in 1984. But it's like some of the things that were in that book are happening right now. But yeah, I mean, Tinyiko's conundrum is like that.
I think of it as that. So I would think from that perspective, I think it is like a really good episode. It might have more replay value than most, given just that it captures that moment. It captures.
Which episode has the least replay value? Which one? Where did we get lost in the source and we were like so focused on the now and not talking about something?
No, but I think
with essence, with
something
the sense of
where we got focused on something was literally, I think it was the Niko's conundrum, because the conversation was supposed to be something else, but it ended up being something else. But I think what works for that episode is the fact that we zoned into something that was happening then, and it was a moment in history, right? So you would always come back to it by the sense that when this was happening, what was the sentiment? What was
do you think to a certain extent it's also our incompetence, given that like we didn't know or we didn't understand our structure at that point. So in as much as we tried to have structure, we got carried away.
I actually wouldn't call it incompetence. I would say, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I just think that it was like, it's the first time you're doing something, right? Because we had the structure. We had like things we wanted to talk about. We just ended up talking about that one thing. So the structure was actually there. It existed. It's just that the conversation and just how maybe the energy that we came in, because we're like, first, let's go. An hour went by so quickly. We didn't get to touch on things that we thought we were going to touch on. So I just feel like...
Incompetence.
Sorry?
Incompetence.
No. Why are you calling it that?
Yeah. It's...
Why do you... No, I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Because you can't say you're incompetent in something if you're doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And you can't judge
you're incompetent because you're doing it for the first time, is what I'm saying. Let's.
Because what is your competence measured on?
The yardstick that you've created. So that's why I said, like you said, there's structure. There's the structure that we wanted, and then there's the structure that we actually had. And the structure that we actually had was not even close to the structure we wanted. We got like carried away.
But how many times has that happened?
I'm not saying it's wrong. Huh? How many? Yeah.
How many times has that happened in the
but that also speaks to just how much of an infant we are in general. Like even right now.
And so
even right now, we're still right now. I think at that point we were incompetent. Right now we are. We are just amateurish. We're just amateurish.
I would prefer amateurish than incompetent.
Yeah, we're amateurish now, but then we were like incompetent. But yeah.
No, because I feel like incompetence suggests that
we're incapable. Is that what you're saying? It suggests?
Not really. Maybe that's an element of it, but I think it suggests that it's like you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. We're doing something we're not supposed to be doing. We're not. Do you think? What what's a great SMWX? Do you think Sizwe is doing something he's supposed to be doing? I think Sizwe is great because he's doing something he's not supposed to. Because Sizwe is not a journalist, he is a great podcaster. Because he's not a like Mac G is supposed to be doing what he's doing. Sizwe is not supposed to be doing what he's doing. And I think the fact that Sizwe is doing what he's not supposed to be doing makes him so great at it. Because he naturally just brings a different
No. I hear that
way of doing things. Maybe the incompetent yeah, it's fine. Like let's not use the word. Let's not use. But I like how people. I'm not built for this.
Yeah.
I'm not built for this. But it's like, I think what thriving looks like for someone like me, I think you're built for this. Maybe that's why this conversation is so difficult. I think you're built for this. I think you're built for this. Yeah, I think you're built for this. I think you're a natural. And yeah, I do. And I think maybe that's why. What do you think of that?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I feel that like so here's my thing.
Yeah.
I generally, it's part of my personality. I can't run away from it. I like talking.
Yeah.
And I love talking with people. I like having conversations with people, point blank. Like I love engaging with people. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that, and this is something that I tried, right? I don't think broadcasting in its traditional sense is something that I'm supposed to be doing, because I tried it. And for a while...
And you were good at it.
I'll say decent at it. Decent.
No, but then that's the thing. Like, I'm the viewer. Okay. I speak on that.
Okay, as a viewer, I was good at it. I don't know. I can't...
Yeah, I can speak on that.
And so I didn't like that. I didn't like the structuredness of it. Like, you have a link, and this link is supposed to end at this time. You're supposed to go to an edit. This time you're supposed to play this song, and that song. And
but don't you think, back to the Sizwe chat.
Yeah.
Me, Sizwe, for example,
Yeah.
right? Versus Mac G knows what you're talking about.
Okay.
You get me? So like Mac G going into podcasting, he knows the link, he knows like all that jazz, okay. Right? Even if it's not something you use here, it's like you just naturally know how to like use the parts of it that work, right?
Okay.
And then someone who doesn't, like imagine if I had to do the intro.
I think you do great, Mesh.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be not even a structured intro, but it wouldn't be if there were types of intros, it wouldn't fall into any of the categories. Like what you do. Hi, I'm Maureen, the Queen, the Princess, whichever one you prefer. I think if we were to study the different categories, that would fall within a category. You know, mine would just be like so random until I get into like my element. Like even like my intro, I mean, it's like I took lyrics from a rap song, right? And I'm like, I'm fresh. But I was like, okay, let me make it my own thing, right? Let me make it my own thing. And I'm fresh, just get fresher, right? And I'm like, making it my own thing, not so great. But it was something that, like, me being sort of the entrepreneur that I am, right? Yeah. Even my approach to podcasting is like that. It's like I test things on the pod. Like, it's like I'm testing a product. It's like I'm testing. Okay. So it's like I tested I'm fresh, and I'm fresh, just get fresher. And I'm like, I'm just better off using the original, which is I'm fresh, and my fresh, just get fresher. Like even the numbers. So it's like, so I was like, that, right? My approach to it is like my life, my work, my career approach, right? Okay. And I guess back to like contrasting this with Caesar's approach, I think his approach to it is very like academic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's because that's what he does.
Yeah, like you
he's a
can,
doctor.
like, it's very, like, his approach to his platform is like very, like, you can tell this is
somebody
this is
that
an
does a
academic
research proposal and does research methodology and says literature review.
Just like the his ability to even just quickly read a book before an interview just so he can enter. Like, MacG's not gonna read a book, right? But he can have a better interview.
Yeah, fair enough. But none of those things are wrong.
None of those things are wrong.
But what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't mean if.
I mean, this started with the incompetence chat. Maybe incompetence is not the right way to. Maybe I'm too hard.
Yeah, I think
in terms of just the terminology, but like, I think
I hear what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
It's like this was still a baby. Like it was
Yeah,
just
it's
like
still
we
a
didn't
baby.
know.
It's still a baby.
Exactly.
I mean, we're calling our theory is episode 1 is episode 21, right? So we technically haven't started.
Fair enough.
You know,
Fair enough.
I don't know how intentionally you take that, but I take that like super intentional. So it's like, it's still like, we're still finding product market fit.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Because what I was going to say is, I think just because Caesar doesn't have a structured way, no, not to say a structured way, like the former broadcasting structured way, does not mean that he is incompetent.
No, that's part of his greatness.
Yeah.
But I would say...
But it's not incompetence.
That's the thing. I was saying the incompetence is the greatness. Like the fact that it's like... It's like...
Okay.
Haaland is an unorthodox... If you look at Haaland practicing, right?
Yeah.
He sucks. Like... He can't. Like he's not good with the technicalities, like when they're just passing the ball around or just doing skills, but he knows how to score.
Okay.
And as a forward, as a number 9, that matters most.
Okay.
Right? It could worry you in that, like, in games where he can't score, he doesn't contribute much. He's not that kind of attacker, but he can score goals. And I think that's sort of my thinking around it, where I'm like, Caesar's just gonna go sit in front of the mic. He's an intelligent dude. He's super smart. He's well versed on a lot of topics that he talks about. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna do it well. You know, he's well spoken, right? So that's gonna come easy. But he doesn't go there with the knowledge and understanding of just communication. Like I think MacG saying like, "You lie," or like he knows what he's doing.
Lie.
You know, like those little nuances, right? Of like he knows human behavior.
The life that comes before you.
I think you understand things like that. Like I think you understand how to get something out of someone, right?
Okay.
Caesar might wish to get it out and just ask a question, but it might be difficult to get it out.
Okay.
Versus someone who's like a traditional.
Because he might really just ask like the question like as it is.
Yeah.
He might not have. Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
You said the incompetence is your greatness. I'm gonna take that line. I love that line.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing is, what has been your favorite thing about the pod? Not necessarily.
I don't suffer from autism. I just have it. Yeah.
That has been your favorite thing.
I'm saying just back to what we're talking about. No, you said income.
Yes.
I'm gonna take it.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't suffer from
Sorry,
autism. I just have it.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't suffer from incompetence. I just have it in that.
I just use it to thrive.
I just use it, or it's just what it is.
I'm not deterred by my incompetence. I use it to thrive. Yeah.
Okay. Love that. Love that we got to that conclusion. Yeah. Actually, yes. Your favorite moment on the pod, or your favorite thing about the pod.
I'm trying to think. I'm thinking about a question that you asked this one time. what would you tell your younger self? And I was like, buy Bitcoin, right?
Okay. And if you were to meet your younger self, what would you say? Like, what would you tell that kid?
Buy Bitcoin.
That was funny.
It was funny, but that was a great question. It wasn't my favorite moment, but it's a moment I'm thinking of. Like I have so many interesting moments. Like even I think me asking you what's your favorite vendor proverb question, even in the beginning, because I think that was probably episode 1, maybe, or 2.
1 or 2.
1 or 3. Because I think I was the first person to ask. So it's probably 1 or 3. And you're like, unembelela shamba. What are some of your favorite vendor proverbs and why?
Unembelela shamba asuwa halo. Which basically means like just because something looks like it's going to break down, it looks like it's just going to fail, doesn't mean it's going to. And it speaks to like persevering and working hard. And even when things are difficult, even when things look like they're not going to work out, just go, man. Like the avocado hangs on that tree like it's about to fall, but it never falls. Well, it does.
I think that became thematic from like a me approaching the year standpoint. You know, like you actually saying that even if like a fruit is just like hanging there, it can still just hang there, right? It'll fall when it's supposed to fall, right? I think just that analogy was, it's something I needed at the time. So I think it was important in that context. Very like I think it was also another teachable moment was just the name thing.
When I introduced
Have I
myself
ever
to
called
people,
you Pinduro?
Huh?
I've never.
No.
I've never.
No. But it's like when I introduce to people, I don't blame people because when I introduce myself to people, I say my name is Maureen because that's the name that I've used my entire life. And I've asked questions. Where does this name come from? And my dad has explained to me, this is what was happening at the time. And he named me after somebody, and it's a whole thing. But I have a liking to my vendor name. Pindulo. Answer. Like the answer. And I feel like using the name Maureen, right? Like it has a meaning and it has a story. Like a really good story, by the way. But I feel like Zinalangala Chivenda, it speaks to so much of what I want to become in the world.
An answer,
a solution. You get me?
You know, I think everything resonated around just like that, just going back to like the essence of like just linguistics, just like the name thing when you're like Pindoro. You know, my name is I'm usually called Maureen, but Pindoro. I think that also was a teachable moment for me because I was like thinking back to like my name and what it means and what I want my name to represent when people think of me, but like also what kind of bearing it has on me. Yeah. So I think more teachable moments than just like, I think I had really great teachable moments. Yeah. How about you?
Okay. I have a few. I think my favorite thing generally about the pod is how untapped it is. Like I feel like you can't box this, right? You can't put it in a box. Every other day we walk in here and we want to record an episode and we think the episode is going to go that way. But we end up having a different conversation altogether. Even ourselves, like we are untapped ourselves because we come into this conversation thinking, we have general themes, let's just take a dig at it. And then we end up at a very different space, which from a viewer's perspective, also is like, because I also watch the pod as a viewer. I do this, but then after the thing, I'm going to watch it as a viewer and be like, okay.
As a fan.
As a fan as well. So it's like, as a fan, when I watch that, I feel like it's like it gets me thinking. It gets me thinking about something that I was not thinking about when I was recording, or when I'm recording. When you say something, it gets me thinking of something else that I didn't think about before I got into the conversation. So I love that about, like, that's my favorite thing about the pod. Like, even if we record a really bad episode, I know there's going to be something that I see and I'm like, what is that? Like, what is that? I want to know what that is. So I love that about the pod. The second thing that I've enjoyed about just the pod is, I guess it ties into what you were saying now, that I kind of had a problem with in the beginning, but now I get it. When you said, like, the incompetence is like your superpower, it's like, because it's untapped, because we can speak of whatever, it's an element of, I get to learn as well as like, I'm hosting some. Usually when you're a host, is you provide something, right, to the viewer, right? Your main aim is to provide information. And maybe that's why I struggled with broadcasting a bit, because that's how I approached it. I was like, I'm putting out a product into the world. I'm giving the world something. I'm informing the world something about something, right? But with the pod, I find that I sit here as a learner. And I think that if I went into broadcasting, like normal broadcasting, with the same idea, I would probably have a different experience. I don't know. But I think this has been great because I sit here and I learn every second week, right? And that element for me, even in the way that we said we were going to do it, it's like, it has exceeded my expectations, because if we were not like if we didn't have this pod, we probably wouldn't be talking every second week of the month, right? Because maybe we'll speak here and there when we see each other and would share some knowledge and it would be great, halala. But because of the pod, we speak outside of the pod and then we come and speak inside of the pod. So opportunities to learn are so much more. Like,
and it's like, it's also just a capsule, right? Like how much more time do we have to do this? I think about that sometimes.
ooh.
You know, like we think we have, like right now that time exists. It's difficult to make, like it seems so easy to make this time, but it's so difficult, right?
Yeah.
And it's very simple, the kind of things that could make this platform change, where we'd like have to ask the people, should we start recording online because we're in different cities now? Should we
It's just
like
one
should
thing.
we stop? Like
It's just one thing.
yeah,
Like,
are we going to get to a
change
point
something.
where it's like we decide, okay, let's take a break, a good year, a few years, come back older, you know, with a whole different perspective,
Yeah.
a lot more rational in mind, have more rigid thoughts, you know. Yeah, I remember you talking about someone commenting on the pod, and they and just talking about how they like how young we are and just how like radical and how, you know, we just want to change everything, and I want to see, because I always try to argue that I will always be this guy. You know, I'm not childish, I'm childlike in nature, you know, and I don't have a problem with being childlike in nature. So it would be interesting to see how the platform evolves, right? Where you can even just compare perspectives. And for me, it's like, I want to look at it as like growth, but it would be interesting where something just radically changes, and it's like, I went from just like
This to that.
to that, you know, simply because I've just grown.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, back to your thing, back to what you were talking about. I thought about something like, what would you say is the one theme that we we didn't, like an important theme that we perhaps spoke about before starting the pod, or one that you were thinking about, or one that we consistently spoke about, but never actually spoke about in the pod, or didn't touch on enough?
I'm thinking of something, and it's going to actually lead to my next question. I don't know if we spoke about this enough, and I don't know if it's something that just like, I don't know. I don't remember if we did speak about this. But I think the one thing I started like thinking about is like, as much as we're releasing the episodes, was like guests and the type of guests we would like to have on the pod, and what we would like, how we would like the thing to look. Because I think prior to Untapped being Untapped, I had this idea in my mind of the space podcast, right? And that podcast had like a very formal setting because it was supposed to be educational, more research based, more academic type of vibe, right? So I had in mind the type of guests that I would like to have and how the setup would be, and but with Untapped, it was like I found it very like challenging to kind of figure out what type of guests we would like to have here, and having access to the type of, because I think the type of guests that we would probably agree on would be very like people that we both are interested. Like we would be like, oh, nice, that's a nice. Like we spoke about Zomola Mupo, and we're like, oh, like us talking about the environment and people that are
protecting our sacred sites.
Yes, right. But it's like, how does that look like? Because we have a setup, and we have like, why would we work around to make that happen? So I guess on top of my mind is mostly that. And I guess the question I had in mind, actually, that I was going to ask you was who your dream guest is.
Yo. Local, international. I'm so typical with the asking the local, international.
Every other day, weekly or monthly, you're asking.
Yeah, local, international, yeah.
Just do both. Do local, do international.
Locally. Yo, I also don't want to be too technical with it, because it's like, now you're just chasing, like, you're being typical. You just want to get the absurd. I think Zoe Mudiga would be a great interview, because I followed her on Twitter recently, and I like the kinds of things she talks about.
I love her.
Who else?
Just generally.
Yeah. I'd also want like an entrepreneur that's like getting busy on something different. Maybe the founder of Kusini Water. I'd like to find out. I think his name is Murendeni Mafumo. But yeah, Murendeni is working on an interesting thing, like water. I think there's big conversations around water scarcity. I'd like to just understand what inspires him to do the work he does, why he thinks it's important. I think internationally, damn, there are just so many. There are just so many. Fun. I think it would be fun to have someone like Thierry Henry. You know?
Shucks. I wasn't thinking of him, but that's a great.
That's my goat.
That's a fire.
You know, like I cried in 2006 when Trezeguet missed that penalty. I felt like he let Henry down, not France down. Yeah, I think I like Vandana Shiva, but that would also be too serious. I like. I'd also like a very educational one. You know, I'm thinking someone who knows a lot about space or AI. So maybe Andre Karpathy. That was someone, I think he at a certain point led AI at Tesla. So he's probably one of the most knowledgeable people on the planet on robotics. So I think Andre Karpathy would just be like that dumbfounding episode where it's like you don't even know what he's saying. You know, like all you have is questions. Like you can't even ask follow-ups because it's like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Love that.
Yeah. I'm also thinking of someone, but they're not coming. But I'm thinking mental health.
My dream guest locally, I would like to have a pod where we talk to something personal, but no, not personal, but just like a personal interview. So like where we interview our parents or like our siblings. I think that would be a fire episode. I think it would be so interesting. I have 5 siblings, so I know it's going to be fire. And I know you only have sisters, so I know that will be fire as well. So I think that's locally kind of my dream guest, if we could get to a point where we can have that. And I think that would be like a landmark episode. Like if something happened with the pod and we wanted to celebrate that, I would like to have like just my siblings over. Or my parents, it doesn't matter. Whichever one between the two. And then I guess outside of that, locally, I'd like to talk to the president.
I don't want a picture with the president.
I just want to talk to the man.
Yeah.
I would like to talk to the president. And I wouldn't want to have him I know like he's the president of the Republic of South Africa, right? So you would have to approach the interview in a certain way, but I would still want to keep it very untapped, in a very kind of playful way. So I don't have an SABC interview of the president on Untapped. I'd like to have an Untapped interview with the president type of vibe.
Yeah.
And then internationally, Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill. Because there's so many like things I'd like to just have a chat about her with. Just stardom, being a mother, being in a very like being in hip hop in a time where hip hop was very like you need to prove yourself type of thing, and she kind of handled that like she kind of embodied that whole. So yeah, Lauryn Hill, and maybe Neil deGrasse. That would be my other dream episode. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a very childlike nature as well.
I think he would fit into the Untapped like vibe very well.
Yeah. I'm not finding who I'm looking for, but I think someone like Daniel Aman, someone that would come through, scan our brains, you know. Yeah.
Because what that's so interesting to me. Sorry, why would you want that?
I like understanding myself. I like understanding myself. So, given that we open up to our community, it would be great to. That would be a very vulnerable episode. So it would be great to get a professional psychoanalyst to scan our brains and have an episode about that.
Okay. That's all my questions, bruh. That is all of the questions I have. Actually, guess one last question, because we're going into the festive season. Actually, we're already in it. And we're probably gonna be in different spaces. We're not gonna record for a bit. What are you looking forward to in the festive season?
I think this year I'm looking forward to rest, man. Yeah. Like I saw someone tweet something about how festives haven't become any boring. Kids are having so much fun. You're just older now. And that's the thing. Like, I can see a lot of things are happening, Shim. Like, I can see events. I can see, I'm not looking forward right now to vacay or I'm not looking forward to. I mean, I want to go to acoustics and poetry. That's something I do habitually. So that's.
This is gonna be my first one.
Yeah.
So I am looking. It's gonna be great
attending that with you. Besides acoustics and poetry, I just want to rest. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to resting. I don't know what that looks like. I don't. Maybe that looks like rewatching a series. Maybe that's reading books. Maybe.
And if you're part of the Untapped community, that also involves you binge watching the Untapped episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I just want to read. I just want to read books. All the books that I couldn't read this year. All the books that I couldn't get through this year. And I guess that's in the same kind of vibe with you. It's it's rest. So I'm very much on that vibe as well. I just want to read. And I'm thinking I'll probably do very very wellness type of things. I'll probably do a couple of hikes when I'm at home as well. Probably still continue with park runs because there's one in LTT as well. So that's me.
What's your fan favorite moment? The ones that we got perhaps privately,
that takes the cup.
That takes the cup, yeah.
No.
Pearl.
I mean,
Pearl's a real one.
Oh, shout out to you. You made my entire life. Yeah. Oh my word.
She's what do you call these foot soldiers?
She's
one of the. No. She's up there.
No, and I'll tell you why. It wasn't so much that it wasn't so much that she was saying.
I mean, it was about you talking about how dependent we are on each other in the world.
Yeah.
And how I guess she was in a space where she was thinking, self, I'm dependent. I can do everything by myself.
Independent.
I'm independent. I don't need to be dependent. And that's sort of challenged that belief. And because the way she was talking about I thought about that. I thought about my life. I thought about the fact that I'm a designer and the fact that I need fabric. I need to source this. And the fact that I need people for all those things. I was buying something and something is too high and I'm short. I need to call the guy. I need to ask someone else to get it for me. And I think that was, That was a potent.
No. That was bruh. I loved that because it wasn't so much that she was saying something nice about the poet, right? Because she was. It was what she was saying about the poet. And something that I hold dearly, community and showing up for people and people showing up for us and us building that because we need each other, fundamentally, dark blue, yellow, pink, purple, all of us, we need each other in some way. And also because it came at a time when I needed to hear that. Even I needed to hear that on that day. Yeah. So, shout out to you, pal. Love you forever.
Yeah.
You? What is yours?
I don't know. I mean, I really like that one. There's another one. Was also Pearl. Um, yeah, where she was just talking about like how this Untapped is this little thing that she found. This was in the very beginning. Like it's this little thing that she found. She doesn't want to tell anyone about it. That was a nice one. Like she doesn't want to tell anyone about it. But I liked how she also went into how we shouldn't get lost in the source and how this shouldn't become something it's not. This should evolve into what it's supposed to evolve into. So I really like that. Billy Bago always protecting you like every second.
Billy!
Billy Bago on some. I don't
Big
let.
shout
I don't.
outs
I
to
don't
Billy
get you.
Bago.
So every time you talk, literally Billy Bago comes like into this room, and it's like Mash. Do not
Shut
interrupt
up.
Maureen. So Billy Bago.
Oh, I love him.
But my most, like my elite was after the Nikus conundrum, that long ass text from your brother.
Oh.
Because
Shout out,
I think that one was super important because that defined the pod in that it made me think about where I'm not gonna go with it. It made me think about what I'm not going to compromise on. It made me think about what I'm getting myself into. Amongst other things. So it was a very in-depth sort of script into like, maybe just stop now. Yes, you dropped an episode. Maybe just stop. Maybe stop now. You know, so
that also was like because it was a very defining one. Like he was like 1, 2, 3. Like it was.
He was he's like mean. You get me? Like the way he articulate. Like it's like if I was made a response, if my niece was asking me to speak on something, that's how critically I'd analyze whatever that is about. So
shout out Lutendo. Love you forever.
Shout out.
Ah man. This is busy.
Yeah, what was your favorite album this year now that we're at the end?
Album. Oh, it's actually speaking of my Apple. What is Apple? What the Apple one called?
Replay, I think.
Replay.
Yeah. I'm also Apple.
This year was a tricky one. Based on Apple, right? I had so many, like, my favorite artist was not my favorite album, and it was not my favorite song.
Yeah, me too.
So I had
it was all over the place. Yeah,
it was so messy.
Yeah,
but personally, if I had to choose my favorite album, I played Java a lot. That album came out this year, did it? Isibugo. Wait, where's my phone? Wait, let me just check. Java's latest album.
You played that a lot?
I played that album. But I don't remember if it was released this year.
2024, the deluxe.
Okay.
But the album was released last year.
Okay, then it just came into the year. Yeah. I played that album a lot. Wait, let me just check my other stuff. I need to check this because I'll end up saying something that I'm listening to now, and that's not necessarily like.
Even my stats were just weird. My top album was Pretty Ugly's album, and that was earlier this year. And I was proud of myself because I'm like, wow, your most listened to album is the hip hop album that won the summer. You have a good ear.
So you had that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
But yeah, I know I played it in the first quarter of the year, which also speaks to just how much less I was listening to music as the year went on. Because I remember like past like April, I didn't play that album. Post-April. And it's so crazy.
But that also means you listened to it proper.
I really listened to it. Because even like all my top albums, because I think third or second was H and Jazz Volume 2.
Okay.
Also, that was a 2023 late album. So it's like I played it in the beginning of this year a lot as well. Also, my top song was Ho Chi Minh, Bass. And that was, I think, dropped last year. My top artist was Ye.
My top song is a Ye song from the life of Pablo. Do you wanna guess which one it is? That's my number one song throughout the year.
Let's see.
And
I'm thinking, which song? Life of Pablo. It's definitely not Real Friends. Definitely The Wolves.
No, it's like one. It's not one of the most famous ones. It's like a low key one. Like a heartbreak song.
Real Friends. How many of
It's not Real Friends.
I'm feeling. That's a good song. That's a good song. Which song is it?
30 Hours.
30 Hours. Yeah, that's a fire album. I mean, that's a fire song, yeah.
Yeah, so that's my number one played song. My second song is Winnie Mashaba, Murena Urituse.
What a mess.
My third song is Zoe Mudicha with Ise Gazini. And then my fourth song is
Tandy Mazwai was also up with me.
I didn't have her as well.
Like she didn't
show up, but I also listened to her this year.
She was up, yeah. She was up.
But my top artist was Kabza the Small. So Kabza
was up. I think even with the months Kabza Chant dropped, he was my top artist.
Do you know when my artist of the month was H&M, was September?
Me, it was Jan.
I don't know why. It
was Jan.
September was that kind of month.
It was Jan. Rutendo, I think, was also top 5. Navy Blue also I listened to a lot.
Oh, I had Nestor as well. I listened to his like old. I think it was like in my top 10 somewhere. Vini.
I was about to say Shango Alira. It was also there. Yeah.
I had Faces and Cycles as well.
Yeah.
By King Rutendo and H.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is us. For the last time this year, Mash.
Yeah.
Peace out. For the...
Peace out.
Ba, ba, ba,